Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome back to another edition of Transplant Talk with Nice Shonda. I am your host, Nice Shonda Larimore, and on behalf of Save 1,000 Lives, I thank you all so much for watching, for tuning in. We have a very special guest today. He is the baby of the bunch. We met 2 years ago at Mayo Hospital. And when we met him, he was introduced to, my late husband because this person was receiving, DeShawn is his name. DeShawn Bagley is my guest for the evening. He needed to receive an LVAD. And because of the connection, the doctors asked if Leonard would talk to DeShawn about, getting the LVAD. So that is how we met. Again, he is the baby of the bunch, and I am so delighted. Listen, he is very shy. So when he comes on, I want you all to show him so much love because he didn't have to do this. But he said, because I know you, and I told him I promise to take good care of him. He agreed to do it. So I am super excited about him being on this show. And so want to make sure everyone knows Transplant Talk is about informing, bringing awareness, and educating people about the need for organ donations. So if you have recently, I know with COVID-19, everything has been, a little crazy, but in the comments, because I want to know how I'm doing, because I'm trying to get 1,000 people registered to be organ donors. If you would you just put that you a registered organ donor? Would you put a blue heart or a green heart in the comment box to let me know either you are an organ donor or you just recently became one? And I would greatly appreciate it. So without any further ado, I will now bring on Mr. DeShawn Bagley. Show him some love, everybody. Show him some love. Hello, DeShawn. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing good.
He's doing great. You all can see that sunny, that happy face. This young man has been given
Yes,
another
indeed.
chance to live. He was given the gift of life. And everyone, I just want you to know that one, this is not easy to do. This is not easy to tell people that you are going through such a transition in life. And then in order to live, you need a heart transplant. So you all see this young man right here, and your family is saying, "Hey, nephew." Tamika Hawkins is saying, "Hey, nephew, your family's showing you some love." All right, so I definitely want to recognize you as being such a real trooper right now for agreeing to being on the show. And I want everyone to know that you recently, and I did post when he received his heart transplant this past December, right? December 4th,
Yes, December 5th. December 5th.
December 5th
I
here.
went into surgery December 4th and got out December 5th.
Okay, so you already know that is a long process to go through a heart transplant. Okay, so before we get to the heart stuff, DeShawn, tell us a little bit about your childhood. What kind of kid were you?
Uh, I'd say I was pretty active. When I was a teenager, football, baseball. When I got to high school, I continued with football, started wrestling. And then my 11th grade year, I played baseball 1 year. And then senior year, I just played football. Didn't feel like wrestling anymore. Then plus I hurt my knee. So uh, yeah, and then I went to college, went to Georgia Southern, was down there 5 years, got a degree in information technology. Still played well, I wouldn't say played, but we was pretty active down there. We went to the gym a lot. We did flag football, basketball, like whatever we get our hands on, because we was in the middle of nowhere, so we did a lot of things.
Okay, we appreciate you being an athlete that you are. I believe a lot of people think um, transplant patients bring the sickness or the illness on them, by doing whatever they think is not correct in order to do, but that wasn't your case. So
No,
I want the audience to know, thank you Richard for being an organ donor. Thank you all so much. And let me say hello to the guests. Hello Miss Connie Henderson, hello Miss Cassandra, hello Miss Gordon. Lakita, how are you? All right. So I just want to make sure I recognize the people that are commenting. And then again, if you are an organ donor, please give me a blue heart or a green heart. If you just registered, can you give me a green heart as well? And so, DeShawn, your journey began, and guys, you all have to watch. You all have to watch. You have to pay attention to how this young man journey began. So tell us um, how were you baptized into first congestive heart failure? So how did you find out, everything that was happening to you?
uh, well, it started off with one of my bosses ended up getting sick with pneumonia. So so when one of them got sick, the other one ended up going to the hospital. And once he went to the hospital, I decided to get myself checked out, and come to find out I had pneumonia. And once I had pneumonia, they gave me some antibiotics to get rid of it. And after I finished all the antibiotics, I still was feeling bad, and I was just like, I still can't breathe, and I'm putting on water. Like I didn't at the time, I didn't know it was water. I just know my feet got puffy, my legs swelled up, I couldn't put my shoes on right, and I was just like, something ain't right. And then I had to go to the hospital for something. I forgot exactly what I went to the hospital for. A matter of fact, I went to the hospital because they did another X-ray after pneumonia, and then they told me to go to the hospital. When I got there, they told me I had congestive heart failure, and that's how I found out. It's a pretty rough process. It was like one day I was totally fine, and all of a sudden I had pneumonia. Then I had heart failure.
So, okay. So I just want our viewers to understand. You were in college.
Yeah, I had just graduated, and I started working my job. Just
Okay.
graduated.
You just graduated, and this was a job that you were working in IT
Yeah,
department, and you all were in close quarters.
yeah.
So your boss was sick first, correct?
Well, I call him boss, but he's not the head guy. He's like right underneath, but he
Okay,
was above me. So
okay, okay. And so the diagnosis for him when he fell ill was that he had pneumonia,
yeah.
and uh he didn't come into work, so you began to get suspicious of like
Oh, no, no, no. He told the office. When he told us, our boss, like the head guy,
Mhm.
ended up checking into the hospital. And
Okay.
once he checked into the hospital, I said, let me go get checked.
Hmm.
And he told us and didn't come to work. Like he ended up calling once he found out because he didn't know he had it until
Hmm.
he started feeling bad, and then he went and got checked.
Hmm. Now, were you having any symptoms, or you just said, "Let me do the right thing and go get checked"?
At the time, I wasn't having none, but who
Okay.
knows how long I had it. It's like they
Right.
said, the first week or two, you could walk around with it and feel fine.
Okay. Okay. And so from there, this is where the story gets real good, right? Um, Once you found out about pneumonia, or now you have congestive heart failure, please tell my audience what happened.
Okay, so while I was at the hospital, they never really told me what to expect and things of that nature. They kind of just told me you had congestive heart failure. Uh, they they put me on some new medicines. They didn't really explain those. They just kind of gave them to me. It was like, yeah, here, take this. And then I want to say a short time after I found out, I want to say a month later, I ended up having I had a stroke. And when we went to the hospital, we sat there. It was me, Rich, and Trey. We sat there for at least 8 hours. 7 hours. We got there around, no, it might have been eight. We got there around 5. We ended up leaving around 1 o'clock that night, going back to Trey and Walt's, or not Trey, Rich and Walt's house. We
Mhm.
slept there, and then we woke up in the morning. I want to say 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Went down to Savannah and went to the hospital. As soon as I told them I had a stroke and things of that nature, they took me to the back, and I got attention from there. So, and when I left there, though, I also ended up on the life vest.
Right. So for those of you that are not familiar with what a life vest is, and if you know what a life vest is, can you just comment in the comments, please, that you know what it is? And DeShawn, would you tell our audience what a life vest is, please?
Uh, well, I'm gonna call it how I saw it. To me, it was a bra with some electric nose in it, and it sit on your chest. And I think it was one in the back also. And what it was is basically is the defibrillator on the outside. You don't get the defibrillator put in you. So when your heart rhythm goes crazy or off the wall or something of that nature, it'll shock you.
All
And
right.
that's basically what happened.
Right. So I'm still really upset with one of the hospitals, in Georgia. I won't name their names. I won't call them out. But I was still very upset, shocked, and appalled that you had to go through all of that and they did not, properly care for you and treat you at that time. So I definitely don't want to hold our viewers long. And your aunt said, she was praying hard. Oh, I'm sorry, your cousin. She prayed hard for you.
Yeah.
To God be the glory, Miss Henderson. Absolutely, to God be the glory. And so, how did you make it after you left Savannah? Then where did you go?
After I left Savannah, I had went home, went back to Atlanta for a while. And
Mhm.
I want to say, well, I went there. I was supposed to be there for maybe a week or two and then go back to my apartment in Statesboro once
Okay.
I was stabilized.
Mhm.
And what happened was one of the medicines that they gave me, which was a blood thinner called Lovenox, is basically in a shot form. You stick yourself in the stomach or
Mhm.
arm, and it thins your blood.
Okay.
So at the time, I went and got tested, how I normally do, for get my blood checked to get the numbers checked. When it got tested, and then I left. They called me later and said, your number is quite high. We're gonna need you to go to the hospital.
Wow.
So I decided to go to Emory, which is Atlanta, which is a great hospital in Atlanta. Ended up there. They kind of explained congestive heart failure to me not a little bit, a lot better. And from the time when I first got there, I weighed 360 pounds, and when I left, I was down to at least, I want to say at least 270, 260 around that area. And
Okay.
all of that was water weight.
Right. So for people that are not familiar with what you experience, okay, so what happens with congestive heart failure patients, they do begin to take on water, and it is, water weight. And for them to pull off that much water from him because his body began to swell. So for them to pull off that much water, you go from 360 to about 275. That is a lot of water weight to pull off. And again, at this time, DeShawn, how old are you doing
What
this time?
at that time, what I was 22. My birthday was coming up in October, and I'd have been 23.
Okay, so yes, water weight, Mr. Gavin. Yeah, Mr. Gavin, it definitely will get you. So to pull that much water off, to pull that much fluid off of someone, that definitely is a lot of weight. I want to go back to because what most people don't know. So let's educate ourselves, especially in the African American community. What do we know about our family history? How very important it is, especially for our viewers, to know your family history. So, DeShawn, what did you learn about your family history and the connection to congestive heart failure?
Well, I knew beforehand because my dad had died in 2013 while I was in college, so I knew about it. Both of my uncles have pacemakers. My grandma on his side, on my dad's side, she has heart problems, health problems in general. And my uncle Bubba, my dad's uncle, he died from heart problems. So I was well aware of it, but
Okay.
I thought it was gonna come on later in life. The same thing the doctor said. They thought it would come later in life. The only reason it came is because pneumonia, if you have it for too long and don't know it, it attacks other organs.
Okay. Okay, so audience, please, be aware, get those checkups, do what you got to do, and please learn your family history. That is very, very important. And thank God your family, at least told you they didn't keep that as a secret. Or well, this person passed away, maybe of just natural causes, but you found out exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That you had, and then that was a good thing. And so now it was time to have the treatment. So let's move, let's fast forward. How did you get here to Mayo and then Jacksonville?
Well, one day I was it was right before my mom. It was right before my mom's birthday cruise, and I told her to go on the cruise. I'll be fine. And then all of a sudden, I went to the hospital because I wasn't feeling well. And while I was in the hospital, they said I was getting worse. So they decided to put in a balloon pump in me. And a balloon pump is basically it helps your heart pump and I guess stay afloat or stay strong. And while I was on that, I was still declining. So they said they was gonna fly me down to Jacksonville because my insurance covered 100% down here in Mayo, but only cover 80% at Emory. So they ended up flying me down here. I had to fly down with a full team of 5 doctors.
Pause for 1 second, y'all. You had to fly here from Georgia with a full team on what kind of plane, DeShawn?
It was like a little jet.
A little private jet.
Yeah.
And can you give the audience how much did that cost?
Just for the flight itself, without the doctors, it was 30,000, and insurance paid that.
30,000. Now I need to give a shout out to your insurance. Okay. And
Yeah.
once again, his insurance was which company?
Walmart.
Walmart. Listen, I might need to go I don't know, work part-time or something at Walmart because a lot of families are having a hard time getting, getting the things that they need, getting the medicine that they need. Some people are losing homes because of, congestive heart failure, or they need a heart transplant. And so when you have a very tough decision to say, hey, I am going to get my medicine or feed my family, that's very hard. And again, you are experiencing this at 22, 23 years old. This is what you have. This is what you're enduring at such a young age. And guys, that's heavy. That's really, really heavy for DeShawn, to go through. But look at him right now, God. Look at God. He's sitting there. He's giving his testimony. God is definitely good. So when you got here to Mayo, and if anyone, don't know, his EF was extremely low, and which meant the functioning of his heart when you got here to Mayo, or the emergency flight that you needed to take here in order to leave. What was your EF at that time, if you remember?
All I know is it was under 15.
15%.
I couldn't give it. Yeah, it was under that because I wasn't getting enough blood to my stomach or intestines.
Wow. And so I want to make sure that you also had a defibrillator as
No, I
well.
didn't have a defibrillator at that time.
Okay.
At that time, it was a balloon pump they put in.
Okay.
It basically it runs through your leg all the way up to your chest, so
Mhm.
you can't move your leg, and you basically bed prone.
Yeah, you definitely have to stay in the bed. You bedridden at
Yeah,
that
bed.
point. Okay, so you're bedridden at that point. All right, so you get here to Jacksonville. They say, I know the team that you're with, or the team that you're a part of, and they say LVAD. Now, at first, did you even know what an LVAD was?
I know, like I told you the other day,
Mhm.
I didn't know what none of that was. I don't even remember having a conversation,
Wow.
signing the papers or anything of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was only up 4 hours out of the day each day, so
Wow.
And I was only there for that one day. I
Okay.
got there the 28th, the 29th, they put it in me. I don't remember it, but they showed me I signed it. So I was like, I guess I did. Yeah, you're right.
I just want to make sure any of your family members, guys, in the comments, if you're his family members, if you all remember this, please share. And yes, Miss Gamble, very, very young. He was very, very young to endure that. So you got here one day and not 12 hours later, you were getting a left ventricular assistance device, which meant the left side of his heart was needed help, functioning. It was not functioning very well, the left side of his heart. So he had to get an LVAD. Okay. Just to educate the viewers. And I also want to add this point as well. He had to then be put on the heart transplant list. So just in case you all don't know, 22 people die every day. 22 people die every day. Every 10 minutes somebody is added to the list um, to get on the heart transplant list. So that definitely, I need you all to know just how very important this is. If you all can, please share, like and share our page, because I definitely try to inform our viewers on what we're doing. So we have the LVAD, and at first, how did you like the LVAD? How did you adjust to wearing the LVAD?
Well, at first, the first month, I was still in the hospital recovering from the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was in the hospital, it wasn't really nothing I could do to really get used to it. It was just kind of there almost. For the first 2 weeks, I was barely moving, and once I did start walking, I had to remember it was there, not to let it get hooked on nothing.
Right.
My shoulder would get caught up in it, not my shoulder, my arm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I had to
And
get
now
used to it.
you definitely had to get used to it. And on top of that, you can't immediately jump in the shower. You
No,
know.
you can't. That was the only thing that threw me off. Like, it really threw me off. But they
Uh-huh.
was like, yeah, you can't get in water, right? I said, how am I supposed to take a shower? Look, we'll get there when it's your time. But right now, you can't take a shower. And I was just like, that don't make no sense. I don't like this no more.
Right. Right. You
Yeah,
can't.
it took me a while.
A lot of things you can't do with the LVAD at that time when you received the LVAD. How many medications were you taking for your congestive heart failure?
At the time, I was taking potassium, warfarin, uh, what else? Potassium, warfarin, water pills, torsemide, and I want to say it was two more, but I can't remember the
Okay.
names.
Okay. So shortly after, when did you make the decision to say this will be my bridge to transplant? Because you technically could have just kept the LVAD and not received a heart transplant, correct?
Yeah, I could have, but they when I got there and they started explaining everything to me, they just thought it'd be better like for me to go ahead and do it since I was so young, and
Okay.
it was easier for me to get on the list.
Okay. That way. Right. All right. So
Yeah.
you kept the LVAD for a couple of months. And so now here's the time for you to finally receive a heart. How did you feel about that? Like somebody else had to pass away in order uh for you to live. Did you grapple with that? I know we did. So how did you handle that decision?
To be completely honest, after a good year, after around waiting a year for the heart,
Mm-hmm.
I came to the point was I can't stop that person from if anything happens. I can't go out there and save them. So if it does come to me, I just all I could do is be highly appreciative of it. Like, I
Yeah.
stopped feeling. At first, I felt bad. Like, felt extremely down. Like, this person has to die. Why do they have to die? In that nature. And then all of
Right.
a sudden, it was just like I can't stop them. You know what I'm saying? When the
Mm-hmm.
Lord calls them home, He calls them home. So
It's
I
that
guess
time.
benefiting me, so I'm gonna take the blessing and keep moving.
Okay. I totally understand. I just want to pause here for a minute and I just want to show some pictures to see if I can. This is while he was here waiting. Um, man, these three guys right here hold such a warm, special place in my heart. And shouldn't have pulled up that picture, huh? Um, I'm I'm so happy. This is Vaughn, this is DeShawn, and this is Mr. Woody. And so going to the hospital, DeShawn, just seeing everybody. How you feel about these two guys?
To be quite honest, Vaughn, I'm the closest with Vaughn, but he was the first one to actually come talk to me. Mostly
Mm-hmm.
because he was able to move around and walk around when he got there. Because he got there after me actually. He got there in February.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I did meet him, like you said, he was always walking around, and one day he happened to stop by my room. We had a quick conversation, and
Mm-hmm.
then he just kept coming by because they tell you to walk, keep active while you're in the hospital. He was
Right.
always coming to talk to me. So we
Right.
just developed a friendship over the time. And
Mm-hmm.
once I got out of the hospital, uh, he was still in because I think he got his heart. I want to say April, was it? I
Yeah,
may
he
be
got
wrong.
no,
Yeah,
you're right.
April.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Just to be clear, Vaughn got his heart um April 22nd, around maybe April 22nd, 23rd, and then Mr. Woody around April 25th. So everybody on this picture was friends with Leonard and they all received their heart. I still rejoice that they were able to see it. So some people actually heard the cry of people, becoming organ donors. So I'm so grateful, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I could celebrate these men because all three of them received, their hearts. And maybe I should have started with this picture first. What day was this?
This is graduation from high school.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you all see, like, he was a big guy and he was a very, very very active, and so I want to go to, you got the heart. How's your family? How's the family handling that big day? Because I know it was like a huge celebration. On
Oh,
Facebook, everybody was so excited that you finally got the call.
yeah. Like at first, the first couple of times, it was. I want to say it was 3 incidents before then.
So you had
Where,
drive-in?
yeah,
Okay.
like they'll tell me, "Hey, start fasting. Don't eat for the day. We think we might got something. We'll keep you on notice."
Hmm.
And one of them, matter of fact, it was two actual, and one of them was I don't know what to call it, standby. It was standby. That's what it was.
Okay.
I was on standby. So basically, what happened was another hospital got there first,
Oh
and they
wow.
said basically if this hospital does not take the heart, we're definitely taking it because
Okay.
he said the hospital, they have done this before. They'll take the heart for the first person on the list, knowing that the first person on the list don't need it, and they'll give it
Mm,
to somebody else at the hospital.
okay. Okay. I did not like dry runs. That dry runs are disrespectful. I don't know if anybody else have ever experienced it, but you definitely get your hopes all up high. You are hungry for the day. You can't
Yeah.
eat anything. And so yeah, we don't like dry runs. And guys, thank you all so much. Just for leaving the comments for DeShawn, just so he could see, some of the comments that are there. And these are your new birthday is December 5th. So all of these different things, and that's Rod Jackson, who actually had an LVAD and a heart transplant as well. And so,
Okay.
guys, I honestly, I truly, truly thank you all, for watching and hearing DeShawn's story. And but there were some other sicknesses that happen, while you're here, right? And tell us how you are. How are you responding to COVID-19? Mm-hmm.
Uh, Actually, I'm doing pretty well. When I did have it, it
Mhm.
took. Well, I want to say I was sick. I had a cold for 2 days, and after those 2 days, I ended up with a fever for like 5, 6 days. After those 6 days, like towards the end of the fever, the Mayo team told me to come into the hospital. And like after 2 days of being in the hospital, when I moved around, I couldn't breathe a little bit. So they decided to start me on this drug called remdesivir and a steroid.
Mhm.
And after 2 days on that, everything started to come back. My fever went away for good. I was able to breathe again. And then everything just started coming back to normal. And then they let me go home, man. I had to continue taking the steroid for a couple of days. And
Mhm.
then everything was better. The
Okay.
only thing
Now,
I didn't realize was it takes a while for your body to shed the virus afterwards.
okay.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, so for me, especially being an educator and this big talk in Florida about us going back to school and kids having COVID-19, and he being a transplant, a heart transplant recipient, contracted, COVID-19, and thank God that didn't take him out, and so we're just blessed that we want you to still just be very careful, but you never know where you get it from. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So, everyone, please be careful. It is real. He had it. And so, this is one of my first guests that actually said he did have COVID-19. And I believe you told me like it took you a while to actually shake everything off from COVID-19.
yeah. As like the shed it from your body takes actually longer. Like I was under the impression after the 2 weeks,
Hmm.
I'm good. It's all gone. No, it
Hmm.
may take another 2 weeks afterwards for your body to fully shed the virus.
I'll
So
make sure I
basically,
share this video with the Department of Education because they need to hear this. You just don't get these 14 days. You need extra time in order for
yeah,
your body, to heal and for you to actually get over. Yes, we're gonna share this because
yeah,
it's very important. Very, very important.
hmm,
So I know you are still here in
yeah,
Jacksonville.
yeah.
And so what are you doing, besides trying to make sure that you stay alive and you stay safe and healthy?
Well, I already played video games, but I took to that a lot more. Uh, like I already fished, so I was trying. I went fishing a lot more. Had a lot more time on my hands.
Okay.
I went fishing a lot more. Uh, that was really the only two things I did: video games and fishing. And I go for walks, to try to stay keep my stamina, I guess you could say, or keep in shape.
Right, because those steroids, right? The steroids.
Yeah, because yeah, when I was on the steroids, I had energy all the time. I barely
Okay.
went to sleep. Like it
Okay.
just kept me energized.
Okay.
And like some people, they get like one. I forget his name, but I met him in the hospital. He had real bad cases of roid rage when he was on it. That's
Road rage?
yeah.
Wow.
I
Wow.
always thought it was a joke, but like some people, the steroids actually do make you mad. Like
Mm.
you can be mad about little stuff. Like I forgot his brother said something to him, but he was helping him. He just got mad, and then
Mm.
later on, he said, "I apologize. That's not me. I don't even know where that came from." Like, and you really can't control it. It just happens.
Yeah.
And once you realize what just happened, you
Mhm.
apologize right after, but it still happened. And so
So
he
that
didn't like taking them.
the medicine is just altered his character
Yeah.
or well, not an ego, but just all it did something to his body that normally wouldn't happen. So right now, I know we talked about your organ donor and you haven't had that exchange yet,
Uh,
with them. But if you could say anything to them, what would you say?
uh, Thank you. That's really all I could think of. Just thank you.
Just
The
thank you.
fact that whether he or she was an organ donor or their family decided to do it, thank you,
Mhm.
because you gave me the opportunity to live. That's all I could say.
Yeah, we're grateful. We're grateful for that, for that family. And again, guys, this was just in December that DeShawn of 2019 received his new heart with his birthday, as his cousin said, December 5th. All right. So thank you all so much, DeShawn. I appreciate you. I definitely won't hold you an hour because you definitely came out of your shell for me. I'm so grateful. And we give blessings, to you and your family. And again, I do appreciate you. And we got some more comments here, it looks like. Okay. And Rhoda saying make sure you take your medicine. Make sure you take your medicine. Because
I always do.
how many pills are you taking a day?
Uh, the actual number of pills, I
Mm-hmm.
cannot tell you because the amounts of them vary.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I can tell you which ones I'm taking though.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
no, you don't have to. We
okay.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands the severity, of this and why it's so important for us in the multicultural community to be organ donors because we just don't know. Um, Somebody in need. We don't know. So I am again grateful that you all came on the show and you shared your story. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. He's the baby of the bunch. It was, I think, 5 of them. Um, within Mayo Hospital on that second floor. God bless them because they definitely helped to save, Sonia's, Mr. Woody, your life, Vaughn.
Mhm.
Definitely helped to save those lives. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Okay. All right. And so we will talk soon. But I have a special announcement for everyone. All right. DeShawn, I'm gonna clear you out for a second.
No problem.
All right. Clear me out. Hold on. All right. So, guys, I have a very special announcement this evening because something was pressed on my heart. And I have been talking with my friend Steve Belcher about this for a while. And God has pressed this on my heart to be able to do to help people that are in need of transplants, kidneys, heart, liver, what have you. So, I will be having a virtual telethon on August 29th, 2020, from 4 to 9 here on StreamYard on Facebook. And again, it is to raise awareness. I need people to sign up to be organ donors. And again, that's right. That's right. You heard it here live on Transplant Talk with Nyshonda. So we will have a live virtual telethon. And a huge thank you to my bishop, Bishop Rudolph Waldo McKissick here at Bethel Baptist Institutional Church for having this idea of a virtual scholarship fund. And that just helped me a whole lot to be able to make this decision to be able to have a virtual telethon. So I'm trying to help any patients or anyone in need because I do know that it is a lot. So thank you all for watching. Tune in next week when I have another special guest. God bless you all. Until next time, God bless you and good night.